Hi folks, so we've got 6 new MoGRTs in our adaptive text tool. So we're looking now at the stacked text, and it's fixed width and it's responsive. So that's a lot. Or a mouthful. Let's play it back. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines of text, and that's your text input. So it's responsive in this way. It will fit to the width of whatever you set here. Alright, so you can set it to 100% width. Let me put scale back to 100. So it will fit the width, as you can see here. Maybe let me make it a single line first. Right? So, and if I put SIBE at the end, so it will always fit into the width. Right? Because I've set width percentage of frame size at 100%. Okay, let's put it back. Looks pretty good. The whole idea for this sort of effect is to create a stacked list of text. And it's really huge now, so I'm gonna scale everything down 50%. I'm gonna set the position offset to 0, 0. And at 0, 0, it actually hits the top. Well, that's your anchor right at the top there. And I'm gonna set this to maybe, let's say, 50% of width. And let's bring it down a little bit. There you go. Let's preview that. That's pretty good. Now, tracking does a bit strange stuff because of the responsive nature. So just be mindful as you're just tracking, it's going to affect the scale of the text internally also. Let's set tracking to 0. Letting now it's at -25, that's why there's a bit of overlap there. I set this to 0, you can see they set up nicely there. And letting's nice, as you can see, regardless of the text size. The letting is consistent throughout with an outline effect. Very thin or super thick. And under animation, so you can slide it from top, right, below, left, or just do a fade in. We're coming from the top now. And you can animate by characters, words, or lines. I'm doing this, I'm tapping in today, right at the top there, just so that you can see how the responsive feature works. Right, so you get a very nice poster-like or animated poster sort of effect. And under animation, you've got bounciness and stuff like that. Right, you can see the bounciness coming in. See that? So I think anything below 20, you won't see a bounce effect. Right? I'm gonna undo. Okay, so now bounciness is back to 75. And you've got delays and stuff like this. I'll just cover this quickly. So right now, delay between mode selections, right now it's characters. So the time delay between the characters is at 15 frames. If I set it lower, you can see the difference between one and the next characters is less pronounced. The higher it is, the more differentiation you will see between one and the next character, since we're animating by characters here. Intensity, pretty close to the delay, but if we don't want too much bounciness, we can bring this down. Right, so what it does is well, as it says, it's about the intensity, how close subsequent characters follow the previous one. Okay, so at 36 it's not so high, at 75 it's a lot higher, and you get something a lot more pronounced. And bounciness, we've seen that. And then amplitude, we've got for position, scale, and rotation also. And the higher your amplitudes, the more pronounced the bounce will be. It will affect the amplitude of the bounce. So now I am bringing up amplitude for position right up to 500. You can see it's a lot more pronounced here, the bounce. So I'm back down to 150 for that. And there's also rotation. View. That looks fun. Okay, now there's also a transition out. It also transitions out. I'm not using the responsive design time because it's pretty buggy. So it's best that you do some manual edits, which is pretty quick. You're an editor anyways. So transition in is about the first 2 seconds, and transition out begins 2 seconds from the end. So it's a 12-second MoGRT. So transition out starts at 10-second mark. You don't have to be precise unless you want to. So a little bit here, you can do a trim, and then do a ripple edit. Okay, so that's how you time your transitions. Another use for the transition is this: if you use the adaptive text tool, the main adaptive text tool, you'll know that the transition out automatically reads from the transition in. So meaning transition in here comes in from the top, takes in all the animation properties here, position, scale, rotation. So when it transitions out, it'll go back up the same way it came in. See that? So it came in from the top, transitions in from the top, and it will transition out the same direction. Now, if you wanted to transition out another way, you can do it just like this. What I just did, I split up, or I cut up my MoGRT into 2 parts. And then for the second part, from here, let's say now I want to transition out right. I come here and I say from right. So it's essentially 2 different clips now, right? First part transitions in from the top, and then the second transitions out to the right, because it follows whatever I set here. The idea is that once you've split up the clip, they're essentially independent from each other. Okay, so next we're going to look at the drop shadow. Pretty straightforward. To see the drop shadow, you would want leading to be negative, so the characters overlap. Right, so you can see the drop shadow there. You can disable it at one go and enable it. There, so you've got standard colors for your drop shadow and everything you would expect. Alrighty. And if you split your clip up, remember they're independent, so whatever changes you make to this guy here, the first clip, you have to copy it or ensure that it's the same there. If you're lazy like me, you can just recut it, which is sometimes easier. And over here, what did I do? Yeah, reset transition out to go to the right, and I can also animate. I don't have to when transition in is by characters, but transition out, it doesn't have to be by characters. It can also be by any of the others, right? Words or lines. And you can see the difference here. It doesn't look too good yet towards the end. Looks like it's a bit static there. So you may want to do a fade out. Yeah. So that's for stacking different tags, and you can get very, very nice and interesting designs. But you can also make this single line tags. Alrighty, there it is. Don't need shadows now. I'm gonna bring this down. And you can get some nice interesting effects there. You know what, I don't think I need the rotations. I'm gonna zero it, just do a Control X to cut it, and instead of coming from the top, I want to come in from the right. Okay, that's a nice effect, and it's real-time playing back, so it's quite insane. So that's it, have fun with this. Oh, one more. I'm gonna undo one more important thing. When you're transitioning out, quite often it's a bit harsh, right? You may want it to be gentler. So as compared to the transitioning, yeah, you want to get the attention of the viewer, so coming in strong or harsh, it's pretty much what you want. But going out, that first move can be a bit too strong, too harsh. So there's a good chance you will want to come into the area here and the animation section and lower down the amplitudes for position, and also the intensity, and also maybe bounciness. Let's take a look. Yeah, so it looks a lot better, yeah? And for transition out, let's look at the whole thing now. Oh, and then if you want to set your timing, pretty easy. Slide it across, and there you go. Right, that's it. Thanks, and watch the other tutorials for the other 6 or the other 5 new MoGRTs. Alright, cheers, bye.